These games are ranked by play score, a standard rating that averages gamer and critic reviews. First on the list is Blaster Master Zero. From the makers of Mega Man Zero and Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, Inti Creates pays tribute to the well-loved platformer. It retains many of its important elements and provides a much-needed revamp to its weaker aspects. Rediscover the beauty of Blaster Master with rebalanced stages, enhanced visuals, smoother frames, fresh new areas, and bosses, all for the Nintendo 3DS. Follow protagonist Jason Frudnick as he ventures deep underground with his newfound tank, Sophia III, in a quest to retrieve a frog named Fred. Crazy as it may sound, it worked back then. You'll also meet his new sidekick, Eve, who plays the part of an engineer/love interest. Blaster Master Zero allows these two characters to have richer development through their witty dialogue and banter. The game was lauded for its hybrid gameplay and heavy Metroidvania-like side-scroller exploration. It's a remake done right, and it receives a play score of 8.37. Number 9 is Story of Seasons, Trio of Towns. Don't let the title fool you, it's still a Harvest Moon game at heart. Marvelous Entertainment's sidestep to a newer approach to farming simulation hits the high notes with Trio of Towns. Now with a modern take, experience the game's new 3D setting and 3 massive cities to explore. The story is unlike most farming games. Instead of your farm being inherited, you prove your father wrong and set out to become the best farmer you can be. Just like Harvest Moon, start your journey by planting crops, taking care of animals, and of course, finding the love of your life. The game's biggest feature lies in its 3 distinct places to visit. Go to Lukoko Town to bask in the warmth of the tropical sun, get a taste of the traditional Asian life in Tsuyukusa, or check out the bovine sites of West Town, with each of them having a variety of exciting festivals and activities to partake in. It's the biggest Story of Seasons game yet, and it's no doubt that it gained positive acclaim. It receives a play score of 8.37. Number 8 is Yokai Watch 2, Psychic Specters. Uncover the humble beginnings of your favorite yokais in this definitive edition of Yokai Watch. This is the 3rd version of its sequel after Bony Spirit and Fleshy Souls. There's not much difference compared to the previous versions, but the thing that made Psychic Specters special is the new yokais, exclusive quests, new maps, and an origin story of Dark Nyan. You can transfer your save files from Bony Spirits or Fleshy Souls to pick up where you left the game. This monster collecting game may not have introduced something revolutionary to their series, but its improvement upon its predecessors made this part of 2017's best 3DS games. So, jump in and hang out with your paranormal pals, because there's plenty of stuff to explore and collect. It has a play score of 8.44. Number 7 is Etrian Odyssey 5, Beyond the Myth. The 5th main installment of the long-running Etrian Odyssey is a step up to its previous titles. 5, or Beyond the Myth, tells a new tale of the adventurer as he finds a way to reach the top of the world tree, Yggdrasil. Explore the new continent of Arcania and get to know the 4 races inhabiting the land. Customize your hero from top to bottom and send him to a magical world. It's a choose-your-own Odyssey type of story that takes you to gorgeous places and face off against brutal beasts with the game's signature turn-based combat. It was praised for its consistent gameplay style and an expanded character creation system. It still feels fresh considering it's a game that started a decade ago. Roam around its labyrinthine world with danger and mystery. It has a play score of 8.50. Number 6 is Monster Hunter Stories. Another entry from Marvelous Entertainment, an unexpected spin-off of the popular Monster Hunter series from Capcom. It removes the brutal and gritty atmosphere of its original and adds a sense of childlike wonder. Everything you know and love from the franchise is transformed into an adorable creature that doesn't want to rip your body to shreds. The biggest twist of this game is its gameplay. No longer will you be hunting monsters and cutting off their tails. Instead, you become a monster rider. Befriend popular monsters from the series and watch them grow to your heart's content by hatching their eggs. But that doesn't mean you don't get to fight. Its turn-based RPG features a rock-paper-scissors-like approach that goes widely different compared to the unforgiving combat of the original. Critics praise the game's pacing, especially its simple combat, but the game's customization and family-friendly nature makes it more than just a spin-off. It has a play score of 8.53. Number 5 is Poochy in Yoshi's Woolly World. Yoshi will make an inevitable debut on the Switch next year, but for now, the 3DS gets to have one more chance with Nintendo's cute green dinosaur. But the game's biggest feature is not Yoshi. Instead, we take a greater focus on his loyal companion, Poochy. He will gladly help you out when you're caught in a pickle. Don't be mistaken, it's essentially the same game from the Wii U title, but it features a ton of new modes, including one that pays more attention to the kiddie audience and for those looking for a more casual experience. Jump back into Yoshi's enjoyable platformer adventures, gobbling up enemies, knocking them out with his wool balls, and collecting a bunch of beads along the way. Solve all the puzzles in each world and unlock a solo Poochy collection stage. Edit your own Yoshi palettes or swipe in some amiibos to give him a brand new skin. It has a play score of 8.73. Number 4 is Fire Emblem Echoes, Shadows of Valentia. Return to the stories of and Celica's, two destined heroes sailing off to separate paths and reuniting as two opposing forces in a world ravaged by war. These two characters share different perspectives on their war-torn land. Alm is at the helm of a rebellion, while Celica is leading a lawful band of soldiers. Echoes takes a welcome turn into the dark and gritty territories of fantasy tales. One other thing that made this game really good is its return to the complex combat system. It contains more RNG, positioning, and a whole lot of preemptive thinking. It can be a little difficult for new players to familiarize, but it pays off in the end. The game also features Mila's Turn Wheel, a mechanic that lets you reset some of your turns, as well as an option to turn off permadeath. Shadow of Valentia is perfect for hardcore JRPG players looking for a more old-school experience. It has a play score of 8.77. Number 3 is Dragon Quest VIII: Journey of the Cursed King. A PlayStation 2 classic returns to the modern platforms. Dive into its gripping storyline and help the hero and his friends end tyranny of the legendary Dulmagus. This remake of the 2005 original offers an array of new additions like scenes, dungeons, monsters, and 2 new playable characters. And with that, despite being a decade-old game, it still retains a feeling of freshness and novelty, such as implementing easier saves, hotkeys, and even sped-up battles. The critics love the game's nostalgic elements, quirky cast of characters, enjoyable family-friendly adventures, and no random encounters. It has a play score of 8.96. Number 2 is Metroid: Samus Returns. A reimagining of the 1991 Game Boy classic, Samus Aran returns with refined visuals, gameplay, and controls. Sent by the Galactic Federation, don her enigmatic suit and exterminate Metroids on their home planet of SR388. The original Metroidvania game, enjoy its side-scrolling action-adventure as you explore a derelict world infested with hostile threats. Gameplay is similar to Metroid 2 but with a few added options, including the ability to perform melee attacks and new Aeon skills. Use these to activate damage-dealing attacks to your enemies or find hidden pathways and items on the area. With this remake, it gives players more hope for the future of the series, especially for Metroid Prime 4 coming to the Nintendo Switch next year. It has a play score of 9. And here are the runners-up before we reveal the number 1. Bye Bye Box Boy. The world is under yet another catastrophic crisis, and QB being the last hope for survival. Once again, release boxes and open up for some mind-boggling puzzles. It has a play score of 8.36. Ever Oasis. A hybrid of management and action RPG. Dive into their sandy dunes and create a lively oasis for you and your lovely citizens. Provide the citizens with their much-needed resources and protect them from the threat of chaos fallen enemies. It has a play score of 8.35. Mario and Luigi: Superstar Saga plus Bowser's Minions. Restore Princess Peach's voice and travel to the Bean Bean Kingdom as the Mario Brothers defeat enemies, solve puzzles, and time your attacks right with your bro powers. It has a play score of 8.31. Fire Emblem Warriors. Witness Bandai Namco as they gather video game giants in a massive crossover. The forces of Awakening, Fates, and Shadow Dragon and the Blade of Light are packed into one game. It has a play score of 8.24. Chicken Wiggle. Follow a chicken and wiggly worm in their unlikely quest to save their friends from a wicked witch. This platforming adventure delights you in creative puzzles and colorful visuals. It has a play score of 8.19. You may get these games right now by clicking the links below. And the best 3DS game of 2017 is none other than Pokemon Ultra Sun. Set in an alternate timeline, jump into a new adventure with a fresh set of clothes and of course, a lineup of cool new Pokemon in the Alola region. Knowing Pokemon, of course, it comes with its other version, Ultra Moon, which gained a lower play score, by the way. Nonetheless, there's barely any difference. It's pretty much the same game. In Ultra Sun, you'll get to meet the clown-like UB Burst and Necrozma's Duskmane form, while in Ultra Moon, they'll let you stroll along with a tower-like UB Assembly and Necrozma's Dawnwings fusion. But the staggering amount of over 400 Pokemon, including new forms, will put you in hours upon hours of collecting to become a Pokemon champion. It's one of the finest 3DS games this 2017, and just as always, there's so much content to soak into. It has a play score of 9.06, while Ultra Moon gets a play score of 8.95.